All right, let's dive into something super important for getting the most out of your workouts, and it might surprise you. We're talking all about rest and recovery, how it affects, like, your whole fitness journey. I know you're interested in this, so let's get right to it. We're checking out this article. It's called Quistis Kulas Quisolum. Yeah, that's Hebrew for why is it important to rest between workouts. Basically, it breaks down like how rest affects muscle growth
Uh-huh.
and fat burning and even, just overall strength and performance. So are you ready to get into this?
Yeah, absolutely. It is really interesting how much people focus on just pushing harder. They don't realize that rest is really where all the magic happens. It's not just about avoiding burnout. It's like essential to hitting your fitness
It's
goals.
like, you know that saying, work smarter, not harder.
Right.
But what's actually happening in our bodies when we rest?
So imagine this. You're lifting weights, really going at it, and you feel the burn. You're actually causing these like microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. But don't worry, it's not as scary as it sounds. It's totally natural. It's like breaking down a wall so you can rebuild it stronger. And so during rest, your body kind of steps in like a construction crew. It repairs those little tears. And then your muscles, they actually come back stronger and bigger.
So it's like our muscles are breaking down so they can rebuild into something even more powerful, like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
hmm
But what happens if we don't take those rest days? Like we just keep pushing ourselves.
Well, without enough rest, those tears, they don't heal the right way. And it's like adding more bricks to a wall before the mortar sets, the whole structure gets like unstable. So this can lead to, hitting a plateau in your progress. Or even worse, you could have setbacks and a higher risk of getting injured.
Okay, yeah. Injuries are definitely something I want to avoid. I remember one time when I was first getting serious about working out, I pushed myself way too hard. I thought more was always better. You know, I ended up pulling my hamstring. I was out for weeks. It was not fun.
Yeah, that's a super common mistake. People just really underestimate how important rest is. Overtraining puts so much stress on your muscles and tendons and joints. It makes you so much more likely to get injured, like tendinitis or muscle tears. It's like driving a car without ever changing the oil. Eventually something's going to break down.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I bet those injuries, they can really mess up your whole fitness journey.
Oh, absolutely. Like imagine training for a marathon and then just weeks before the big day, you get a stress fracture. It's
Oof.
so frustrating. And it's not even just about physical recovery. Like when I'm getting 8 hours of sleep every night, my workouts are so much better. It's crazy how much of a difference rest makes for performance.
Yeah, it's like trying to study for a big exam when you're exhausted. You just can't focus. You can't remember anything. But if you get a good night's sleep, you're ready to go.
Exactly. Your body works the same way. When your muscles are rested, they have more power, more endurance. You can push harder, lift heavier weights, go for longer. It's all about getting the most out of your workouts.
This makes me think about hormones, too. They play such a big role in how our bodies react to exercise.
Oh, absolutely. Hormones are key. Let's talk about cortisol. It's a hormone that gets released when you're stressed, like when you're working out hard. Think of it like an alarm system. A little bit is good, but if it's going off all the time because you're overtraining and not resting, it can really mess up your system.
Oh, wow. So what kind of problems are we talking about here?
Well, if your cortisol levels are high all the time, you can actually start breaking down muscle instead of building it up. And you might store more fat and your energy levels to drop. It's like your body's stuck in like fight or flight mode all the time, always on edge. Not exactly ideal for hitting peak
It's
performance.
like we're running on fumes. So rest isn't just about letting our muscles recover. It's about giving our hormones a chance to, like, reset, too.
Exactly. And speaking of resetting, we have to talk about how rest helps us get back the energy we use during workouts. Every time you exercise, you use up your glycogen stores. That's basically stored energy in your muscles. Think of it like your car's gas tank. You got to refill it to keep going.
So if we want to go into our next workout with the same intensity, we need to rest
Yeah,
and refuel
right.
those glycogen stores.
Exactly. Rest and a good balance of protein and carbs and healthy fats will help you refill your energy reserves so you can perform your best. It's like giving your body the premium fuel it needs to run smoothly.
So it's not just about working hard. It's about refueling the right way, too.
That's it. We're talking about working smarter, not just harder.
Okay, yeah. This is making so much more sense now.
Okay.
We've talked about muscle repair and injury prevention and performance and hormones and energy. What else is there to know about rest and recovery? What about, like, our immune systems?
Oh, That's a great question. It's something people don't always think about. When you exercise really hard, it can actually suppress your immune system for a bit.
Wait, really? So working out can make my immune system weaker? That's surprising.
Yeah, to some extent. And if you don't give your body enough time to recover, it can make it harder to fight off infections and inflammation. Imagine like soldiers who are always fighting on the front lines with no time to like regroup. They're going to be more vulnerable.
So if I'm always pushing myself and not getting enough rest, I'm actually more likely to get sick.
Exactly. It's like using your computer 24/7 without ever turning it off. Eventually, it's going to crash. Rest isn't just about, getting those fitness gains. It's about staying healthy overall,
Yeah.
well-being.
This is all such valuable information. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some practical stuff, like
Sure.
how do we make sure we're recovering effectively? What are some things the article says about making rest a priority?
Well, first of all, it really emphasizes sleep. Getting enough sleep is crucial. You should aim for at least like 7 to 9 hours every night.
Oh man, I'm already feeling more rested just thinking about that.
Right. And then you also need to pay attention to what you eat. Make sure you're getting a good mix of protein, carbohydrates, and healthy fats. That's what your body needs to repair itself and refuel. Think of them like building blocks.
Got it. So fuel our bodies properly.
Mhm.
What else?
The article also talks about scheduling rest days, especially after really intense workouts. You don't have to just lie on the couch all day, but you should avoid like strenuous activity. Let your body do its thing, recover.
I've actually really gotten into active recovery days, things like walking or stretching or even yoga or swimming. I feel like those can be a good way to move your body without pushing it too hard.
Yeah, you're totally right. Light activities like that can actually help you recover faster, they get your blood flowing better, and can reduce muscle soreness.
It's all about listening to our bodies and finding that balance
Mm.
between pushing ourselves and giving our bodies the rest they need.
You got it. If you ignore those signals, you can do more harm than good.
This has been so insightful. I'm really starting to see the power of rest. But before we get into more specific recovery strategies, I think we should take a quick break. When we come back, we'll explore even more tips and tricks for, working rest and recovery into our busy lives. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back. We're still uncovering all the secrets of rest and recovery. And before the break, we were just about to get into some practical stuff, strategies to help you, maximize that downtime. Are you ready to get into it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's pick up where we left off. It's funny you mention active recovery days. That's something this article really focuses on.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
Well, it talks about how stuff like walking and stretching and even yoga or swimming, it says that can actually help you recover faster.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always feel so much better after a good yoga session, even if it's not like a super intense one.
Right. And the article explains why. It says it's because those activities help increase blood flow to your muscles, which helps reduce soreness, and it helps like flush out waste products, the stuff that builds up in your muscles when you're exercising hard.
So it's like a gentle way to pamper your body a little bit
Yeah.
after you've been pushing it so hard.
Exactly. And it makes it really clear that active recovery is not the same as another workout. It's about moving your body in a way that helps it heal and relax, not pushing yourself to the max.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. It's easy to think that if you're moving at all, you're not really resting.
Definitely. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just, let your body chill out.
Okay, so I'm totally convinced about the importance of rest. But I bet some people listening are thinking, okay, rest sounds great, but I'm so busy. How am I supposed to fit it all in?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. We all have so much going on. But prioritizing rest is about finding ways to, sneak it into your routine. You don't have to completely change your whole life.
So what are some strategies for people who have, really busy lives? Like, how can we make sure we're getting enough sleep when we're juggling work and family and, like, a million other things?
No, the article says you should try to have a consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on the weekends.
Ugh, I've heard that before. But it's so hard to stick to, especially on the weekends when I just want to sleep in.
I know, it can be tough. But even small changes help. Maybe just try shifting your bedtime and wake up time by 15 minutes each day until you get to where you want to be.
Okay, that seems a lot more doable. What about having a relaxing bedtime routine? Does that actually make a difference?
Absolutely. The article really emphasizes winding down an hour or two before bed. Like, take a warm bath, read a book, listen to soothing music. Think of it as, telling your body it's time to switch off for the night.
I love that. Setting the stage for a good night's sleep.
Exactly. And make sure your bedroom is, cool and dark and quiet so nothing disturbs you.
Those are all great tips.
Yeah.
Okay, what about food? Any advice on how to eat in a way that helps us recover? Especially when we're always on the go.
Yeah, the article says it's all about eating balanced meals. You need a good mix of protein, carbohydrates, and healthy fats. It's like you're giving your body the building blocks to, repair itself and get its energy back.
So what does that look like? Like, what are some meals or snacks that help with recovery?
Okay, so if after a workout, grilled chicken or fish with some quinoa and roasted vegetables is a great option. It's got a good balance of everything. And for a quick snack, you could try Greek yogurt with some berries and a handful of nuts. The yogurt's got protein, the berries have antioxidants, and the nuts have healthy fats and fiber.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And easy to put together, even when you're busy.
Exactly. And don't forget to stay hydrated. Drinking enough water is super important for recovery, too.
Oh yeah, water's key.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about sleep, nutrition, and active recovery. Is there anything else that can help us maximize rest and recovery?
The article mentions something that I think is so important. It says, listen to your body. It sounds simple, but a lot of us just ignore the signals our bodies are sending us.
What kinds of signals are we talking about? What should we be looking out for?
Well, things like if your muscles are sore all the time, or if you're just exhausted, or you're having trouble sleeping, or you feel more irritable than usual, or maybe you're not as motivated to work out. Those could all be signs that you're pushing yourself too hard, and you need to rest.
Oof, I know I'm guilty of that. Ignoring those signs, I get so focused on my fitness goals that I forget to listen to my body.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, but you have to remember taking a break is not a sign of weakness. It actually means you're smart. You're respecting your body's limits and giving it time to, rebuild and recover.
I love that. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And it shows how important it is to plan for rest and recovery from the beginning. Make it part of your fitness plan, not something you just do if you have time.
So it's not about training until you collapse and then lying on the couch for a week.
No.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance between pushing yourself and letting your body recover, so you can keep making progress towards your goals without burning out.
This all makes so much sense. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of rest and recovery.
It really can change everything.
So knowing all this about rest, what's one small change you're going to make in your routine this week to prioritize recovery?
That's a great question. I think I'm going to commit to getting 8 full hours of sleep every night this week. If I make sleep a priority, everything else just seems to go smoother.
That's a great goal. I'm going to focus on incorporating more active recovery into my week. I love the idea of doing some gentle yoga or going for a relaxing walk on my rest days.
Those are awesome choices.
Well, before we move on to our final thoughts, there's one more really cool thing about rest that this article talks about. It's the connection between rest and mental well-being. We haven't really touched on that yet, but it's super important.
Ah.
All right, we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into rest and recovery. And right before the break, we were getting into this fascinating link between rest and mental well-being, like finally acknowledging that our brains need a timeout too, not just our bodies.
Right. It's all about understanding that our mental and physical health, they're like totally connected. This article, it points out how chronic stress, the kind that can get worse when you're overtraining, it can make you more anxious, more irritable. You could even start feeling burned out.
It's like our minds are stuck in this never-ending marathon. No wonder we feel so wiped out.
Exactly. And when you're mentally exhausted, it affects everything. Your motivation, your focus, even how well you sleep. It's like this vicious cycle.
So how do we get out of that cycle? Like, how do we actually give our minds the break they need?
The article suggests trying mindfulness practices like meditation or deep breathing exercises. Even just a few minutes a day can help you feel more relaxed and clear-headed.
I used to think meditation was just for, like, super Zen people. But I started doing a guided meditation for, 10 minutes every night. And it has helped so much. It's like all the crazy thoughts in my head just pause for a bit and I can finally relax.
That's great. And it doesn't even have to be like formal meditation. Just find something that helps you disconnect from all the craziness of your day and lets your mind chill out.
So like going for a walk in nature or reading a book or listening to some chill music.
Yeah, exactly. It's about finding those peaceful moments throughout your day and, actually making time for them, just like you would make time for a workout.
It's like we need to schedule mental rest days too, along with our physical rest days.
That's a great way to think about it. And just like with physical rest, it's all about consistency. When you make those little moments of mindfulness and relaxation part of your daily routine, it makes a huge difference in how you feel overall.
Wow, this conversation has been so eye-opening. I feel like I have a totally new perspective on rest and recovery. It's not just about my physical health, it's about my mental and emotional well-being too.
Exactly. It's about realizing that rest isn't some kind of special treat you give yourself. It's something you need to be healthy and happy.
It's about working smarter, not just harder. And it's about letting ourselves slow down, recharge, and come back even stronger.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive, think about one small change you can make this week to really focus on rest and recovery.
Maybe you decide to get those 8 hours of sleep every night. Or maybe you try that 15-minute meditation. Or maybe you just block off some time to do something fun that you really enjoy. And don't feel guilty about it.
Whatever it is, commit to it and see how amazing you feel when you make rest a priority.
That's right. We'll be back next week with a whole new deep dive on a different topic. But until then, keep learning, keep exploring. And remember, rest isn't the opposite of progress. It's the key. It's how you build your strongest, healthiest, happiest self.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for